Hi, this is Rocco Beatrice. I'm the Managing Director for Estate Street Partners. I'm a CPA, I hold a master's in tax and all that. Yeah. I have a lot of credentials. I've been around for 38 years, and some of the questions, I'm a CPA, so I'm not an attorney. How did I get into this business? Well, I got into this business purely by accident. I hired an attorney. He messed up so bad. I was the guy holding the contract, and I was the guy who was going to have the most exposure, the most money to lose. The guy that I hired didn't have any money. Even though he was an attorney, I stood to lose just about everything. I had a home, I had cash, I had stocks, I had a lot of stuff. So, the attorney was protected. I was out there holding the bag. This is when I had to learn how to protect my assets really quick. I have gone to hundreds of seminars. I have talked to hundreds of people. I've gotten on the plane and showed up at the office to do my due diligence. There's a lot of people that don't know a heck of a lot. They know what they know. They talk about the revocable trust as being an asset protection device. That could not be the furthest from the truth. A revocable trust is not worth the paper it's written on. It's not for asset protection. It is strictly for the purpose of avoiding the probate process. And probate is when you have an asset in a particular state that the state court takes jurisdiction. If you don't have a will, the state is going to tell you who's going to get your money. If you have assets in multiple states, you have to go to probate in those multiple states. I have found this. The only thing, and I mean the only thing that works, is an irrevocable trust with an independent trustee. Nothing works like it. A limited liability company has to have members, single members. This is the way that most attorneys set it up. A single member LLC means that in your hands, it's a personal asset. It's a piece of paper in your hands that you own. So when you go in front of a judge, he gives you two options. Either you sell the asset or you give it to your creditor. So if you give it to your creditor, that means he owns your assets. Same thing with a partnership, a limited partnership. The general partner, even though he may have 1%, 2%, 3%, half of 1%, doesn't matter. As long as the general partner, and the general partner is the only person that makes the decisions, if you own the general partner's interest, you own the asset. Now, what is the best way then? The best way for real estate, for stocks, for bonds, for collectible arts, antiques, boats, planes, whatever your valuable asset is, proven time and time over again that an irrevocable trust, such as the one we have, the Ultra Trust, is the only way to hold valuable assets. And when your trust capitalizes a limited liability company or owns the shares of a corporation or is the general partner of a limited partnership or a family limited partnership, it is the strongest asset protection device that your money can buy, short of going to offshore. And of course, offshore these days has become a whole intricacy over in itself. The problem is that the banking acts, all these acts that have been created by the federal government, essentially they want you to keep your money in the United States. It's extremely difficult for an individual to open up a bank account outside the United States. Therefore, we no longer use that. But if you need that type of consulting, we have the right people that we can put together for the right type of assets that you have. This is Rocco Beatrice, Managing Director of Estate Street Partners. Please visit our website, ultratrust.com.